Just a heads up, today's video is a complete mess. If you want more details, you can check the pinned comment. The gang starts off their latest game with Tom, who plays a tapped Zagoth Triumph. Then Extra plays a tapped Arcane Sanctum. Sam plays a Rejuvenating Springs and casts Gudul Lurker. While John ends the first turn cycle with a Raucous Theater tapped, surveilling a card to the graveyard. Tom then kicks off his second turn with a Breeding Pool tapped, before passing. Extra plays a Tainted Isle and a Talisman of Dominance. He passes. Sam plays a Watery Grave tapped, casts a Slither Blade, then swings at Extra for 1 with his Lurker, before passing to John. John plays an Island and casts Call of the Ring, then hands it back to Tom. Tom plays a Command Tower for turn and casts Shadow Mage Infiltrator. With nothing else, he passes to Extra. Extra plays an Island and tries to set up future value by casting his commander, Eriette the Beguiler, paying 1 life, then passing to Sam. Sam plays a Sunken Hole for turn, then moves to combat, swinging Lurker and Slither for 2 at Extra. The turn then moves to John. On John's upkeep, Cole triggers Tempting him. He plays a Drowned Catacombs for turn, then casts the adventure part of Virtue of Persistence on Shadow Mage, gaining 2 life and passing the turn back to Tom. Tom plays a Woodland Cemetery as his land for turn, then casts a Grim Hireling before passing to Extra. Extra plays a Choked Estuary and casts a Hateful Eidolon, paying 1 life, followed by a Light Pause, Emperor's Voice. He then swings Eriette at Tom for 4, then passes. Sam plays an Island, casts Reconnaissance Mission, and again attacks Extra with Lurker and Slither. Reconnaissance Mission triggers twice, letting him draw 2 cards, before giving the turn over to John. On John's upkeep, Cole triggers Tempting him. He plays a Tainted Isle and casts his commander, Obeka, Splitter of Seconds. He then passes it back to Tom. Tom casts Gix, Yawgmoth Praetor, and swings his Hireling at Sam. Sam takes the hit, triggering Hireling to make 2 treasures, and Gix to lose 1 life and draw a card. In his second main, Tom casts Kazur, Ruthless Stalker, thinking he is 3 mana, and fetches up Ukima. He then passes to Extra. Extra first casts Azorius Signet, followed by Transcendent Envoy, and minions return on Gix, triggering Eriette to take control of it, and Light Pause to attach Shielded by Fate to itself. He then attacks Tom with Eriette, and Sam with both Eidolon and Light Pause. Both take the hit, letting Gix trigger 3 times, losing 3 life, and drawing 3 cards. After that, he plays an Isolated Chapel tapped, and passes. Sam plays a Dreamroot Cascade for turn. He casts his commander, Gonti, Canny Acquisitor. He then goes to combat, attacking Tom with Slither and Extra with Lurker. Both declare no blocks, take the hit, triggering Mission to draw 2, and Gonti to exile 2 top cards. Sam then passes to John. On John's upkeep, Cole triggers, Tempting him, making Obeka the Ringbearer, losing 2 life, and drawing a card. He casts Court of Cunning, making himself the Monarch, then attacks Sam with Obeka. This triggers Ring to draw and discard. Then Obeka triggers, getting 2 extra upkeeps. In the extra upkeeps, Cole triggers, losing 2 life and drawing a card. Court triggers twice, making each opponent mill 20, and Cole once again losing 2 life and drawing a card. In his second main, he plays Morphic Pool for turn, and draws a card thanks to Monarch on end of turn. Tom plays a Swamp for turn, and casts his commander, Felix Five-Boots. He then goes to combat, attacking John with Kazur and Hireling. He takes the hit, triggering Hireling to make 4 treasures, Kazur to give both creatures 2 counters, and take the Monarch. Tom then passes to Extra. Extra plays in a Darkar Waste for turn, then casts Retether, thanks to John filling up his graveyard. In response, John casts Pongify on Eriette, but Extra defends with a timely ward. Not letting him have the last laugh, Tom also casts Pongify on Eriette, making sure it turns into an 8. Retether then resolves, returning 5 enchantments, triggering Light Paws 5 times. Nerd Rage to draw 2, and Reverie to draw 12. He then attacks Sam with Light Paws, and John with Envoy and Gix, triggering Nerd Rage to give +10/+10. As a result, Sam dies, and Gix triggers 3 times, losing 3 life, and drawing 3 cards. After that, he passes to John. On John's upkeep, Core triggers, having each opponent mill 2, followed by Call, losing 2 life, and drawing a card. He plays a Blight Step halfway per turn, then casts Court of Vantress, again becoming the Monarch. He goes to combat, and attacks Extra with Obeka, triggering Ring to draw and discard. In response, Extra casts Rapid Hybridization on Obeka, which is met by John's Silver Shroud costume, giving Obeka Shroud. Obeka is then able to connect, triggering its effect to gain 2 extra upkeeps, and making each opponent lose 3 with the ring. In the extra upkeeps, Cunning triggers, milling the opponents for 10, followed by Vantress, making 2 Ghoulish Impetus copies on Light Boss plus Hireling, and another Cunning trigger, milling 10. Once that is done, John draws for the Monarch, and passes the turn. Tom immediately goes to combat, attacking Extra with Felix and Hireling, while sending Kazur at John. The indestructible Eidolon blocks Hireling, and before damage, Tom ninjutsus in Nashi, Moon Sage's Scion, triggering his effect twice, exiling 2 cards from each player's library. He then uses the exiled Chaos Orb to try and get rid of Light Paws. So here we make a pretty big game-deciding mistake. On Extra's turn, he got Curator's Ward off Light Paws, which gives it hexproof. This means that this Chaos Orb would not be able to target it, and would most likely give Extra the win, since he had plenty of cards in hand to deal with John's Obeka / Court of Cunning. In the background, I sped up what actually happened, and in the meantime, I wanted to know what you would like me to do in these kinds of situations in the future. There was a lot of back and forth after this Chaos Warp, with John eventually being able to mill out both Extra and Tom. While it does make for an exciting game, the fact is still that the game should have ended on turn 7. So I would ask of you to please write your opinions in the comments on whether or not I should just mention the mistake and go on with the video, or do what I did now and explain the situation and end it. We tried to make the videos as correct as possible, but with so many cards, with so many effects in play at the same time, some things are bound to slip through the cracks. Most of the time, it's a simple mistake that could very well be overlooked, but this time, it completely changes the dynamic of the game. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed watching the video, and thank you for watching till the end.